I was working with this like 80-year-old woman at the polls who had clearly just done way too many drugs for way too many years.
Okay.
Now that you mention it, she kind of had a Keith Richards like face.
Okay.
No, man, she was explaining how everything was a conspiracy, like COVID wasn't real. They just want to steal our money. And I was like, she brought a little device that was an electromagnetic radiation and a ghost detector. And she was like walking around the polling place, like, and she waved it at our Wi-Fi router, and she's like, electromagnetic radiation. And I'm like, yes, that is what that produces.
Yes, it worked. It worked.
And she was like, I did this in a hotel once with no Wi-Fi, and it went off, and she was like, it was a ghost. I hope everyone's excited for the wonderful new reality we've woken up in the last 4 days.
Yeah, exactly. This is what everybody's got on their mind is like, what are Jeff and Dom going to do when Dom gets back from the polls?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the secret is that the real winners are us, and people should tune in to find out what we're up to.
Somebody said that the real winner of Tuesday night was weed, apparently, because they got legalized in a few more states.
Yo, Oregon is like, yeah. I'm so impressed they decriminalized everything. They decriminalized everything. I'm not sure they let everyone out of prison for that yet. And that's like next level.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Twitch user Acrobatic Fish, who is an acquaintance of mine, to say the least, says in our chat, weed!
Right there with you, Twitch user Acrobatic Fish.
Yes. He says correct. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about weed. But Oregon, even more so, right? Like Oregon, did they decriminalize or did they just straight up say, like, no, you can just buy whatever?
They decriminalized everything.
So it's like Portugal, basically.
Yeah. And they legalized psilocybin therapy.
Okay. I'm into that.
Yeah. Yeah, which like has like some really cool therapeutic benefits that people would love to study and can't. So like, thumbs up.
Dom, there's something I've been meaning to ask you for a long, long time, but I've been kind of afraid to, but I think now is the right time to ask. Do you microdose LSD?
No. No, but I worked with someone who did, and I only found out like well after the fact that they were like, oh yeah, I was doing that today. And I'm like, are you going to tell me? It was strange.
Not that you give off the hallmark signs of a microdoser. I actually don't know what those signs are, but you're a progressive person in the Bay Area, and you enjoy the fruits of the tech worker culture to a certain degree, right? You're a Burning Man advocate.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Okay. Yeah. I enjoy being around those people, but like, nah.
I've never dropped acid before, but I really would rather like to at some point, just to have had the experience.
Well, I feel like you're in the right city to figure that out.
Yeah,
man,
it just sounds like a whole production. You need like a safety buddy. You need like a couple days to come down, right? Something like that.
I was working with this like 80-year-old woman at the polls who had clearly just done way too many drugs for way too many years.
Okay.
She would,
Richards.
Kinda. Now that you mention it, she kind of had a Keith Richards like face.
Okay.
But no, man, she was explaining how everything was a conspiracy, like COVID wasn't real. They just want to steal our money. And I was like, oh, you're like halfway there because they do want our money, but also the pandemic is real.
Yeah.
But then she brought around she brought a little device that was an electromagnetic radiation and a ghost detector. And she
radiation
was just
/ ghost detector.
Yeah, electromagnetic radiation, comma, and ghost.
Okay, yes.
And she was like walking around the polling place, like, and she waved it at our Wi-Fi router, and she's like, electromagnetic radiation. And I'm like, yes, that is what that produces.
Yes, it worked. It worked.
And she was like, I did this in a hotel once with no Wi-Fi, and it went off, and she was like, it was a ghost. And I'm like, okay, lady. So,
is having a ghost that bad, really? Like, what is the negative consequence?
Like, I think it'd be kind of cool. We don't know that they're mad at you. What if they're
Yeah.
friendly?
Yeah, I guess canon is that they like can actually affect the material world and will basically kill you. That's sort of the reason why one would be afraid of ghosts is if they would just like fuck you up, right?
I don't know anyone who's been killed by a ghost,
Yeah,
so
it's true. It doesn't really happen that frequently.
yeah, canon seems like it needs to be updated.
Yeah. So tell me about the polls. I'm excited to hear about this.
Man, it was I was very impressed with Alameda County. They put
Okay.
together a pretty smooth operation where like we signed everyone in on an iPad that had the full voter log for the entire county. So like you couldn't go to the wrong polling place.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And then when you signed in, they printed your ballot on demand with local races for your precinct. So you couldn't get the wrong ballot. It was like actually a
Ah,
fairly well put together operation, right? Because like the normal experience is like you show up at the
raise my
wrong place.
taxes. This is great.
Because like I've done it where I show up and I like get the wrong council person. I'm just like, oh, well, okay. I guess I don't vote for my council person this time. I it was very, very, very cool.
Where in the county were you posted?
I was right on top of Ashby Bartstop at the Ed Roberts campus,
Mm-hmm.
which has no lighting at night. We discovered on the second day.
Ashby Bart is like pretty scary to be around at night. Not because I expect anything to happen to me, but it's just the lighting situation there is not.
But like the Ed Roberts campus, literally the inside had no lighting.
Oh,
It
so
was
the
like
interior had no lights.
it's like it's built as a green building and it has skylights that make it a really nice space during the day, but like at night they did the bare minimum of like enough lights that they don't get sued for having someone run into a wall or something. And it was
Oh
like
man,
we were like people couldn't read their ballots, so we had to put up floodlights. It was really weird.
those fucking environmentalists. I'm like 100% rabid, like unreconstructed Marxist progressive on everything except the environment. Fuck them. I want my buildings lit all the time, and I want a wood fire in my house.
Well, good news for being in California. You could get both at the same time.
It's true. Overall positive experience though, being at the polls.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, surprisingly good. I think a 4-day shift was like incredibly cruel and they should have scheduled like, I don't know, shifts or something.
Okay.
Like I was working on Tuesday, I worked 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
That is a
with,
long time.
yeah. And
It's
there
a
was,
13-hour day.
there was 2 1-hour breaks in the middle, but it's still like, I'm doing this thing all day, no matter what. I feel like they just could have had a morning and a night shift or something.
And you were a volunteer?
I got paid. I think
You got
everyone
paid.
working the polls.
Awesome.
I
That's
got
good.
paid like $100 a day, so minimum wage. Yeah,
Okay.
thinking of quitting my day job.
Yeah, but you know, like you did something very useful.
Yeah, yeah. I actually appreciate that it wasn't volunteer, and a lot of people who weren't tech workers were doing it and like getting paid for it, and like were excited to like get some money and do a useful thing. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it seems like a good system.
Did you encounter anybody that was like an overt Trump voter? I'm curious, just because the Bay Area is like so monocultural in that
Yeah.
way, you know?
Not that I'm aware of, but
Okay,
like
yeah.
statistically, like 1 in 10 people who came through was.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah, it was more than 0 people who I saw probably voted for Trump.
Yeah, I think my
And
neighborhood might be the reddest neighborhood.
your neighborhood is rich as hell, so I believe that.
It's got to be like rich people, right? It's just like they're like a single issue voter along the on the issue of taxes, right? Something.
Did you see the SF Prop 22 map?
I'm gonna
'Cause
switch
it
to development
was.
view so I can see your screen.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They broke down the propositions by district, I think.
Okay. Oh wow, this is incredible. This data is
Yeah.
amazing. Good
Well,
job, SF
like,
Chronicle.
yeah, yes, on 22, literally only rich people. Like the richer rich people.
Yeah. Are those all the tech workers? It must be, right?
It's like Soma and yeah, the marina must be all tech
I don't
workers and
know
all
though.
those.
Like I kind of wonder. I feel like most tech workers that
So
I know
like
are pretty sympathetic to the plight of the gig worker, despite the
I
fact
think
that they
it's
might. Yeah.
I think it's not tech workers. I think it's like bosses and like landowners
Yeah.
and the real estate folks. Like it's the upper class of SF. I think is concentrated in fancy new high rises and whatever this shithole is.
We spent at least 2 full streams of this amazing internet real estate, like this time that we occupy, um, exhorting people to vote no on Prop 22. And what did the fucking rest of California do? They voted yes.
They voted yes.
60% of you assholes.
Yeah, a true shame.
Yeah.
I'm the most sad about that in this election.
Okay.
Even
That particular one.
Even if like the president goes the wrong way, like I think I'm the most sad about Prop 22 because like
Yeah.
their ramifications are just I don't know. It's the start. It's the walking down the path of something like much darker.
Yeah, it's basically sorry to bother you, right? Whatever that company was.
Yeah, yeah.
That like we're basically like 10 years away from just turning people into horses, right? Horses that speak English.
God, that was such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. God, it was really close. Well, it was not Walmart or Amazon, but it was something that was exactly like both of them at the same time.
I got fucking destroyed on like almost every California proposition that was on the ballot. Like it went the reverse of the way I voted.
Yeah, the only thing we got was felons are reenfranchised, which
We
like
also
maybe
got-
helps in the future.
We also got the weird transfer of property tax base one. Which one is that one?
Oh, maybe Prop 15?
21?
21?
It was the one where like that was the one where like I think that they were sneaky about it. It was the one where they said, okay, if you are an elderly person or you lost your home in a fire or something like that, you get to transfer your lower tax base. It wasn't 21.
Must have been 21.
Fucking
15
21.
maybe?
We should have had 2 streams on yes on 21. That's super impactful.
I can't believe how much shit they snuck onto the ballot this year. That was just like it was actually like a lot of big changes that I hadn't heard about because the president took up all the air in the room.
Yeah. Why do we think California voted down affirmative action? It's like this is like the year of white people in California putting Black Lives Matter signs on their houses. And
I do not fucking understand why people dislike affirmative action.
and like everyone's like, yeah, man, it's structural problems. And then they like go in and like reject affirmative action. It's just ridiculous.
Right. And like don't we have a ton of data to back up that affirmative action was like extremely effective. And then when they took it away, everything regressed to like the previous setup because the extremely effective thing was taken away.
Yeah. It helps outcomes. Turns out.
Jeff, I want your opinion on the extremely controversial Prop 25.
Prop 25 was
Replacing cash bail.
okay. So what the take that I read on this, I ended up voting against this one.
I voted for it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get crucified for it, but let's see. Not by you.
I think this one was complicated, but what I had read was that what you can say about cash bail is that it is fair on a certain absolute level, which is that if you were able to like produce the money, you can post bail. Whereas I think the alternative was to use some algorithmic series of profiling kinds of things, which gave me the heebie-jeebies. And I think that was largely the progressive line on it, was that they didn't trust the algorithm to classify people correctly.
Yep. Yeah, that was my biggest regret in voting for it.
Yeah.
But I voted for it because the success meant the end of the cash bail industry here and the ability to like continue to legislate without like that bullshit.
Yeah.
Because like we're only voting on this because the people I voted for passed a bill that abolished cash bail, and then the bail industry was like, hang on a second, we want the voters to decide, and kicked this over to us to negate the vote that the state legislators already made.
Which is
So
the same as Prop 22, basically, right?
Right. I was just like, I'm so fucking pissed at these commercial props that people are just buying.
Yeah.
So,
I was about to make an extremely cynical and apocalyptic remark about the state of democracy, but let's talk about video games.
I was going to say, democracy's doing that for us, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
This game feels really fast now. The bullet speed is probably what's doing it.
Well, it's actually slower than it was last time we talked, but drive up to the turrets, man. See what happens.
Oh no, what have you done? Oh shit. Oh no, I'm much slower than the bullets. This is terrible.
So you are too used to shooting and not used to getting shot at.
Yeah.
Or shot
so
upon. I'm shatted upon.
Shatted upon. Shat at, I think is the technical term.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to the past participle tense here.
Oh look, I can hide in the trees almost.
Yeah, but yeah, and then you died. Then you died. You died, dumb.
I mean, Dark Souls.
Yeah, we got rid of the text.
That's okay.
So
accept that.
Tuesday night, I engaged in what can only be described as stress refactoring. You know, some people get into like stress baking or stress exercising.
Oh Lord.
I did some stress refactoring that continued on into Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm still stressed, but I have no refactoring left to do. It's out of my body. So if you go to the entity manager, you will notice a few interesting changes.
Let's see this sucker.
Yeah.
All right.
You can just scroll up to the I guess the list of member variables.
Hey, I see everything.
More entities list. Yeah.
At all?
It's gone.
Oh shit, dude.
And in fact, what was previously the entity class or interface is now called entity components.
Okay.
It is merely essentially one cross-cutting horizontal slice of our list of components.
Cool.
Not all of which are represented in the component tables in the entity manager because we don't use them all anymore. We don't use the inventory one, for example. And so we'll add that back in when we need it. Mm-hmm. The reason why this interface even exists is that we need a bag that we can put all these properties into when we register an entity. Right, so like when one is created, we have to there's a bag of these things, and you got to stick it somewhere. And
I assume it's also for checkpointing, so we can checkpoint one prop at a time and just dump it in there.
Probably checkpointing is the more important reason because we could change our entity factory functions to take the entity manager and just have it add stuff as necessary. On the flip side, though, I like the fact that we can use that indexing. That registration function that just indexes everything appropriately, and that still kind of works similarly.
Nice. Registration. Oh, index entity.
Yeah.
So yep.
That does all of this, and then I alphabetized everything because it was just getting confusing.
You.
And then the unindexed similar structure also alphabetized. Mm-hmm. And then there's a new one called Snapshot, which also has a similar structure. And this is what basically copies the values out of the component tables into a single entity component structure.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I was thinking one of the advantages of the change we're making is that actually we could snapshot individual components.
We could definitely do that. I didn't really dive that deeply. We still need something like this if we destroy an entity and we need to snapshot it. But snapshotting individual components is a really interesting proposition that I think we should look into.
If we destroy an entity,
we checkpoint entities before we register them, as we register them for deletion, right?
Right. Yep.
We need to resurrect them essentially when we're doing the reconciliation.
Yep, that's fair. Yep. Okay.
But I think snapshotting components is actually really compelling. So we can definitely look into doing something like that.
Damn, dude. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I am so thrilled.
Yeah. And it was easy enough to turn on the hiding system, easy enough to turn on the turret system again as well. And so they just kind of worked.
I noticed when the turret is shooting at me, I see bullets rubber banding, and
Um,
I don't know if you've experienced that.
I sort of saw. Yeah, see when they initially start shooting at you, like I see them like stopping short, and I don't know what that's from. So that could be something to debug.
Yeah, yeah. It's like not stopping. Is it stopping short? It's really hard to tell.
When they
Yeah,
initially start shooting at you, they stop short,
yeah, yeah. You're right.
which means that that window of them stopping short is probably the 15 frames, right? Of
Yeah, and I guess
like
it's like
prediction.
maybe it's like predicted, and then the server like takes it back, which is weird.
Yeah.
But I guess if we predict shooting and the server in the past doesn't see it, are we gonna reconcile that bullet away essentially?
Well, the server should have seen the shot. Like whatever we like, I actually don't understand why there's any drift between the client and server right now. Unless
Mm-hmm.
there's some non-determinism that we haven't, or non-inconsistency that we haven't figured out yet. And I made sure to make everything sorted maps and sorted sets. So even like our predicted
I
registrations,
saw
predicted deletions are all sorted. Yeah.
such a good interface.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled by this. Wow. Okay. You were busy on Tuesday.
Stress refactoring, man.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Wow. Okay. So a lot of these systems are functional again.
Uh, yes, there were some that I just like commented out entirely. I was like, I don't want to deal with this. So I think the builder system was one that was quite complicated. That I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, no, not yet on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious about the shooting
Yeah.
and the failure to do so. And it looks like it must be really close. Is there? Yeah, I'm trying to think how I could get it wrong. Like if we shoot, it's like it's basing it off input messages from the client. So the position at a specific frame should be exactly correct on the server and on the front end.
Yeah. Twitch viewer Nico asks what the green dots are. And the green dots they are trees.
They're
They're
trees,
supposed
and
to be trees. Yeah.
we can hide in them. We could maybe turn the opacity down a little bit, but our tank turns a little transparent when it goes in the trees, and the turrets can't see it. But if I pop out right here, I'm gonna get wrecked. Ah,
You dead. You
I'm dead.
DED. Yeah.
I missed the reload button. Hey man, when there's no player, this thing runs at a sweet 60 FPS.
Okay. That's a hint.
Solved it. Easy.
Nico also asks what the red things are. Nico is my nephew, by the way. He's
Oh, what's
watching
up, Nico?
Twitch. Yeah. The red things are supposed to be bullets that the tank is shooting at shooting at everything really.
Yeah, the tanks and the turrets just all fire one big mess of bullets.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's so much. There we go.
I think it's because it's compiling at the same time, right?
Oh, indeed. Actually, it was one compile ahead of me. It's nice when I can just watch the frames ahead of server, just like shoot up, and I'm like, I got lost.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, it looks great with our particle emitters no longer being totally goofed up. All right. Well, at least the turrets still have their short range and can't actually see me.
Oh yeah, their visibility is short.
Yeah, I have so many questions about what's going on with this thing. Yeah. Interesting.
When you say rubber banding, you basically mean that their pads seem to curve. Is that basically what you're saying?
They're kind of doing this as they go out.
Yeah.
And then you've also seen it looks like it stutters backwards, or like one shot gets cut really short.
I felt like I saw that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
How strange.
Yeah. Because those should be basically equal distance apart, these bullets, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I want to give the turret like much more range. So it'll start shooting at me further away and we can like sort of see it.
Observe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Observe it without being totally dead. Oh, it's so weird.
There's almost like a wave pattern.
Yeah, it looks to me like some of the bullets like get closer and then spread out again. Wild. And they're all kind of arriving at their destination together-ish, which is right, but the middle is very strange. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So what
is it possible that we're completely losing bullets? Because like there's definitely a because it feels like it should be deterministic, right? Like the server is getting the exact same input that the client.
Hmm. Now, maybe a problem we're having is that bullet creation is not really a message, right? Like this is, I mean, no, this is all derived state based on the player position though. Like our inputs have been the same.
Yeah.
It should be totally okay.
Is there anything that is order dependent? Like if you scroll up, I mean, the thing that would be different is that shootables.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we getting that? Oh yeah, we're building it out of here. So line 38 has like targetables, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh hey, this could be a spatial query? Are we not doing that?
We definitely could do that, and that would be faster. There's a couple like the hiding thing also needs to do
also
spatial
okay,
query.
cool.
Yeah,
Yep. Oh, great. Okay, so we can speed this back up again too.
But so, is it possible that on like the list of shootables on the client is different to the list of shootables on the server when the client does prediction, and therefore that's why we're getting something different? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes me wonder why.
But the targetables are all here, right? They're all like they shouldn't be different on the client than
right
between the client.
It's always going through the same list here. Yeah. And it's like once they get going, they're fine. If I step out of range, shoot.
You know,
step out of range, we're good.
You know what would make us all go away is if we didn't animate the bullets at all.
Didn't animate the bullets?
Yeah, we just didn't draw them. You know, all you saw was muzzle flare and the direction that the turrets were shooting. I mean, that's what basically FPS do, right? They don't draw all the shots. Or if they do, it's just, you know, it's just cosmetic. It doesn't actually mean anything.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be just cosmetic. That's a very interesting proposition.
Yeah. Right now, they are actual projectiles. They're discrete entities, right?
Yeah, and it does do a nice job of actually hitting me when it's there. So,
yeah.
When I guess it raises some questions about like, we haven't really talked about like hit code where it's like if you shot and you were predicted to hit the player and the player moved, like actually the server gives you credit for the time travel there.
Right, the lag compensation. Yeah.
But that doesn't really solve this problem. This isn't lag compensation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Potentially even more interesting than this particular problem is how we would the technique that we would use to actually debug this problem, which I haven't thought about at all.
That's a great question.
But it involves trying to compare what the server is doing with what the client is doing in a way that hopefully doesn't freeze the browser because we're logging too much out or something like that, right?
Yeah, and like our server right now is logging nothing, which is nice.
We could reduce the rate of fire significantly. Maybe once every other second. And then just print when in the client side, and this console log when you shot, and then also do the same thing on the I guess just console log in both places, and it should get output. I think console logging still works on the server. Is that correct? Oh, the problem is we have a lot of turrets too.
We can go to the small map.
Small map, yes.
What's really interesting to me is that like I don't know if this is very very cleanly observable for you, but like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
the bullets are totally disappearing at this range, and I assume if I got a little closer, they might clean up. No, so increasing the cooldown period made this much
More
worse.
observable. Yeah.
And that's fascinating. Okay, so let's take it over to small map. Small map is great. That'll be collision test today.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that. Is that command up and down?
What's that? Oh yeah, command up and down to.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn down the bullet range as well. Nope. It's in the bullet component. There we go. Yeah, we'll just make you a nice 250. So it's always out of range. Or can see out of range, rather.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I'm so perplexed that slowing this down actually made it worse. Wow, we don't have any problems on this map. Oh my gosh. All right, so it's really interesting that it's actually like even the tree is being undeleted.
That's what we would expect if there is misprediction, right?
1, 2. Is it actually? I think it's actually only hitting me every 2 seconds, but something in the middle is not going through. Like it's
deciding to fire on the client, but the server
correctly
predicted a different frame when it actually fired, right?
I think it actually might be like this. I think it's the reverse. Like the client is predicting a bunch of stuff, and the server is like, "Hang on, only one of those bullet, like only every 2 seconds did that bullet actually hit the tank."
Yeah.
But the client prediction ahead of the server, because like it's so wild that the trees also take like 5 hits because they're instant delete.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, somehow the timer is advancing faster on the client or something like that.
Yeah.
The DT should always be the same, right? We have a fixed tick rate, right?
We do. But yeah, it really, I think the client is predicting a shot more frequently, and maybe we can sort of.
That's exactly right.
Maybe we can debug that.
Yeah.
This is not responsive. You just made it smaller. Stop it. Goodness. Oh, I have playfield clamped my last playfield. Okay. So I was going to say, where do we choose to shoot? Right here. Move towards target. 3, shoot at target. Okay. Yeah, I see. You're thinking this DT. Mm-hmm.
And then we should print the frame that we're currently on if it's even being passed in.
Let's see. Yeah, what do we have here? We have Entity Manager, not SimState.
This is just a system we never updated, right?
Yeah. Well,
we can pass in SimState. It's fine.
I think we probably want SimState. So if we simulate, oh, I see. Okay, you just gave some of these. Yep. That makes total sense. SimState has our frame, so.
Yeah.
And then.
Do we want to do a pick on that?
Yeah, I do. You know what I like.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that it?
And then, yeah, pipe it with frame. Is that?
I think, yeah. That's what we'll start with. Well, you know, it'd be a lot easier if I just assign this. Constant temperature frame equals SimState. Oh, I guess entity major does not. All right, shooting frame. Okay. So I'm gonna make
And
yeah.
yeah, go ahead. You're gonna make a prediction.
I'm gonna make a prediction that the server outputs this every 2 seconds and the client outputs it just as fast as it can.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Oh,
does
you
Make
know
Bullet
what's
give us
I think I know what's happening. The
yeah.
turret system is not checkpointing correctly.
Okay. Is
Uh,
it
do you see line 118? We need
have we
to
checkpointed the turret at this point?
we need to checkpoint the turret. In fact, we need to checkpoint the turret when it rotates as well. So there's like lots of different places we're not checkpointing, right?
Okay. So I guess if we have a target, we should checkpoint the turret.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
because we're about to modify its orientation, and we're also about to modify its countdown timer.
That makes total sense. Yeah.
So we're already being bitten by this checkpointing.
I know. And the checkpoint is turret.id.
Yeah.
How turret does not have an ID?
Oh, turret. We should have an ID that's being passed in.
We have an ID. Okay, cool. Oh my god, Backblaze, chill.
What's Backblaze?
I have a encrypted cloud backup of my hard drive.
Oh.
Yeah, so if someone like rolls over my computer with a car, I can just like resync the entire thing from the cloud.
This is just pure Dom DeGrady here. Burning Man enthusiast, LSD microdoser, and Backblazer.
Sometimes things burn down. Sometimes it's a man. Sometimes it's a laptop.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like half of California, and you gotta be prepared.
Yep, it's true.
All right, so this is a very annoying view that I've put myself in. Let's just get rid of that. That sure looks right to me.
Oh man.
So it's shooting. You're brilliant, is what you are.
I'm relieved.
And
And
so these are the 5 shots, and it actually logged them quite a few times on my side, but because it had to predict 15 frames.
it reconciles. Those are all the reconciliations. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, why do you
delightful?
Oh, there's 16 of them. Why are they different?
Interestingly, one actually was on 594. In fact, some of these happened a frame before the server saw it.
Weird.
But it does reconcile it correctly, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not happy, but I'm not sad either. What an adult feeling. I'm not happy, but I'm not sad.
You're not sick and you're not well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this certainly works.
Yeah.
All right.
Perplexed.
Yeah.
It can't be floating point error, right? Like,
why would that be different? Are we somehow is it actually that this happens in the prediction frame and it actually is incorrect? Client, like, is it possible that it's happening in this sort of future simulation on this is for the next frame, right?
or for the current frame.
For the current frame.
Yeah.
Do we not simulate the next frame? I guess we do. Okay, yeah.
We do, yeah.
For the current frame. I guess I'm wondering if this is actually off by 1.
Relative to when we send the input, that's possible.
Yeah, like should simulation frame actually be above simulate? Like, should we tick the frame, then run this? I'm not sure.
It depends on what we do with that variable, I suppose.
Yep.
But if it was off by 1, like I would expect more consistency across the board. The fact that it only occasionally happens is the disturbing part.
Well, it does happen for every one of these shots.
Oh, you're saying all of the shots are
All the shots initially are off by one and then reconcile correctly. This for 16 times.
yes, yes,
So
absolutely.
my suggestion is, yeah, we've simulated off by one somehow. But I don't.
Okay. Well, when we collect player input, how do we send it to the server? Is it the player input system that does it?
Um, that's a good question. I feel like it shouldn't be. This should only be putting messages into the buffer.
No, we send it to the server as well, right?
Oh, we send it immediately right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And then
so the server, no, the server should receive that as its frame 100, and the turret should respond to that on the same.
And then proceed to simulate frame 100 based on that input, right?
Yeah, yeah, that really should not be different. Okay.
Can I see the server.ts? Just let me let's make for sure that is or make sure that that's actually what's happening.
Yep. Where do we? Okay.
Yeah, that looks right, I think.
Yeah. And so we simulate multiple messages at a time, but that's fine.
As long as the tick is the same, right?
Yeah. Wait, how? Oh, because that's in sim state, right?
Yep.
Well, oh, I see. We're just shifting. Sorry, it's not even. It's multiple messages of input, but one frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's this dot simulation frame, which also gets increased in the same place. I think we're doing it right. I'm confused by this behavior, but
it's not hurting us right now.
No, and it seems like it. Wow, God, it's got good aim. It seems like it reconciles it fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit disturbing because if there's any kind of inaccuracy in this, then it won't reconcile certain things correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you showed him that turret.
Yeah, I was say everyone get lost.
You cleaned his clock.
All right, I beat the map.
Yes.
Okay.
This is like a pure nihilist dream. It's like we want to purify the world, remove it of imperfections.
Only with fire.
Yep.
Only with fire. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this once to satisfy my own curiosity while this log is still in here, but I don't think it's correct.
Okay.
Like at all. But we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Okay, turret, take your best shot.
It's consistent.
It's certainly more consistent, but I do not understand why.
Shit.
Yep, I agree. Well, I'm gonna put this back.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna put it here with a comment about what's going on. We're unsure if we should the frame here. Turret shooting seems to indicate that.
If we wanted to unit test this, we could essentially just run the client and server synchronously in a test, and then
Mhm.
snapshot the component tables, serialize them to JSON, and compare that JSON string right between the server. And we could snapshot it multiple frames in a row for both the client and server.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying we have to do that right now, but like I think it would be
No, but I'm feeling it.
okay.
I would actually be really excited to sort of figure out how even to
Excuse me.
no, you're good, man. It's I am just the most tired this week.
Yeah, it's been weird.
It's been weird. It's been very weird. Um, it'd be cool to like have a test that started the game and like ran a frame and was like the tank moves. And I feel like we're pretty much at the place where you can put that together.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna put the muzzle flash back in here.
Okay. For the turret.
I mean, we've got this. Should just be that. Oops. And you also need a frame. Oh wow, you need a lot of information. Okay.
You need the ID of the entity, which is
ID and the frame.
yeah.
Sweet. Boy, that function really should enclose the frame, shouldn't it? Okay.
Yeah. I think I saw that last time and I'm like, it's kind of weird. We could curry it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, this isn't. You actually need name parameters, don't you? Ah, I love it. Okay. Emitter.
It's a feature, not a
flash. It's such a feature. No, I'm not complaining about this at all. Because I love it. And it's just entity.
That should probably get renamed.
The function or
entity ID, I think is.
What happens if I question mark a function? Does it just work? Does it just fail?
Good question. I don't really know.
I think it's a bug because this suddenly started. Yeah.
Okay. So is it just like if register particle emitter?
Yep. Only because we pass this interface to the server.
Yeah.
Really, we should do this on the server with no op, but that's asking a lot.
Yeah. I ran into an interesting issue, a bug that I took me a while to figure out, but I was doing basically like if object, but the thing that I was doing the if on was actually a number. And so my zeros, which are valid values, were getting ignored.
That's the most JavaScript. Yeah.
Most every language, basically. Right? Most languages will let you if a number, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder if we can lint that away.
That'd be really nice, actually. Yeah, you should.
It would be like a TS lint thing where, like, if the variable in the parentheses is not typed as a Boolean, it should complain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I saw the muzzle flash. Yeah.
I can just barely see it over here, but
it's there. I
it's
promise.
there. I trust you.
It's just barely there, though.
Did you notice we have our debug walls back? I fixed it.
Hey, so what's
I don't even remember what I did.
Oh.
I said literally, it's like out of my brain already. Like
wall collider.
I think it might be in client.ts.
Oh, are we just drawing squares on stuff now?
Walls. Well, I didn't put it there. Oh yeah, it was because we I don't know how. It's one of those things that I'm pretty sure I'm not sure how it was. It wasn't just like straight up failing all the time, but I don't think we were populating like at the walls table. Like we just straight up weren't setting that.
Really? Okay. Shit.
One funny thing about the iterator protocol in JavaScript, or the iterable protocol rather, is that we get a lot of nice expressions like line 388, but then we lose all of the array functions. So things like find and filter and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Can still see me. There we go. Hey, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I should go drive over to the fun turrets.
Oh, I love this map.
It was a good map, right? It is a good map.
They weren't shooting each other just then.
No, they you can trick them into shooting each other, I think,
Oh,
but
okay, got it.
it's like just has to be it has to be like just edged enough to do that, and then you move back into it.
Right.
It's not. I think the fast bullets and a couple other things are not helping here. All right, well we gotta turn this cooldown back down. Sorry.
Oh, don't apologize. You're the one that's going to get shot at more frequently.
Yeah, let's help myself out a little bit there.
Okay.
So before we get too much further, I totally want to make these systems spatial queries because this is a lot. There's a lot of trees on this map.
A lot. I think this system in particular is going to need a little bit of careful refactoring because, well, there's a couple of interesting puzzling things. First of all, line 18 is a little bit weird. We're iterating over members of the friendly team because those are people that can hide.
Yep.
And that's a proxy right now because like that really shouldn't be the way it is permanently. Like enemy team people should be able to hide as well.
Yeah, true. So this should actually be players, right?
Player. Well, we did this because the builder could hide as well, right?
Oh, that's a good point.
It's really we need a hideable component, right? That's just a Boolean flag. And actually, the way I'm using that word component now is just basically any entity state that is its own discrete blob, orthogonal to everything else, basically. But it could be we do have components now that are reducible down to just like one flag or something like that, right? So lines 12 through 16 actually gather entity IDs of everything on the whole map that can obscure you. Basically, it's a list of all the trees.
It's so interesting too because obscurings, we can't do a spatial query on obscurings, can we? Oh no, we can because it's in something is in the quad tree for that for these IDs.
So probably what we need to do is to actually do a spatial query for everything on line 18. Like we basically do it in the loop where we basically say we get the AABB for this.
Right, we want to get the ABB for the current friendly team member and do a quad tree on it and then filter by like, is that in obscurings?
Yeah. Maybe open up the AABB a little bit further,
Yep.
like, and then do the quad tree stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. And then, I guess absolutely all of this goes away.
Exactly.
And that will probably inform what breaks somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't because that needs to go away too. Now it's broken.
Yep.
Sweet. So let's do entity manager. Nope. Oh, I love it. That's so nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And so our friendly checkbox equals.
It's probably just line 24. Do you think it might just be literally the exact same thing?
Oh. We're getting the hitbox for it. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because if there's no overlap with that, then you shouldn't be hidden by it, right?
Yeah, and really, because we're requiring this like percentage overlap, so I think that totally makes sense. So this will be const obscurables equals.
I think that's obscurings or obscurers. I don't know,
no, totally. Obscuring entities.
Yes. Okay. Great.
And the check. Okay, interesting.
And it does need to be filtered by those that have the obscuring flag set, because you could be overlapping with some other stuff.
So yeah, that I was about to say. Right now you can't, but we should use the obscuring flag. So this is going to be this dot filter, which is going to be OID and then entity manager dot obscurings dot has OID.
OID. Yeah, exactly.
Cute. That's great. And that'll just, yeah, this is going to be a very small filter because it should only be like 4 objects max.
Yeah, and then we can map that. We can do a dot map and transform that into AABBs.
Oh, yep. So actually we can make this obscuring AABBs right now.
Exactly, yeah.
I love it.
So we need to grab the transform of that thing, and we need to grab its hitbox, and then yeah, we just do lines 13 through 15.
I was just
yeah.
Yep. Which also look a lot like these 2 lines. Okay, cool. I love just being able to index into things directly.
Yeah. The one problem that I am anticipating is that we never are going to have like an entity object that we can like investigate fully. So anytime we need to debug something, we'll actually have to write a little expression to like pull. There might be actually we can use that snapshot function that I created. You know, that like snapshot entity that like basically pulls all of the components off of the tables that share the same entity ID. We could use that to pull out like the entity state anytime we wanted to debug it, but it just wouldn't be available to us in memory at any random moment the way that the entity object used to be.
Yeah, that's too bad. I wonder, I'd be very interested in figuring out sort of like, I think we could put more stuff on the window, like the entity manager and some snapshotty functions like that to always have like debug access to
absolutely. Yeah.
player or something similar.
Yes.
Oh, let's see if that broke or fixed anything.
Yeah. And you can test this very easily by just driving to the tree and see if your opacity changes.
Looks good to me.
Oh, man.
Driving to
it's going to be a little bit faster, too, right? It has to be.
It's already feeling better, yeah.
Yeah.
These shooties add a lot of, just a very noticeable amount of lag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
And I can well, I think the turret system has a very similar problem.
Oh, well, not that many turrets, right?
It's not that many turrets.
There's a lot of targetables.
Looks at
Line 47 is the problem.
Is a targetable include walls?
Oh yeah, walls and trees.
Ah, okay, great. Okay,
it's basically anything that can be shot. Because we called it targetable because we wanted to make sure that like the turrets didn't try to shoot at cover, right? We wanted to make sure it didn't like shoot a wall.
That's right. So we have it all in there as a like, this is the first thing you see and it's a wall, like don't aim at it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And trees are not, but walls and other turrets and players are all targetable.
Yeah, targetable might be the wrong. I mean, it should probably just be damageable. You know, like it's anything that can take damage. Because that.
But then trees are in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'm not sure if that flag is 100% necessary.
Well, I was gonna say trees are not in targetable right now, at least.
Oh, they aren't.
No, because you're hidden. Like obscured.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah. But actually, like a tree, it just aims right through.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think maybe we wanted that.
We did that on purpose. If we put trees in targetables, then they would block view, basically. And we can choose.
Yeah, maybe that flag, maybe targetables is the wrong way. It's like view blocking is what it probably should be, or like turret aim blocking or something. Yeah. Like that would be the really precise way of putting it.
Yeah, aimable, turret aimable.
Okay. I guess targetable is okay too. Turret targetable. It's not even targetable because it's not. It's a complex idea.
Yep. But I'm pretty sure.
I'm okay with the name right now.
Yeah. I'm not ready to change it, but I see. Yeah. So okay. I see the future, and it is all 3 of those things. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Yep.
Man, bringing the builder back is going to be a real pain in the butt.
Yeah, especially because the Pathfinder is super non-performant.
And yet it's as performant as we can make it, isn't it? Oh god, doing it 15 times in a row is going to really suck.
Yeah, and every frame as well.
Well, but we do have a spatial index now, which could help.
It could help. I agree.
So I think shootables, or rather targetables, we can actually, this is gonna be a really cool spatial query because the AABB is basically going to be like a line from the turret. We're going to shoot a ray and throw that into the spatial query and get every object intersecting with it. Does that sound right?
It does. The problem is that the ray is the diagonal of the AABB, and so the AABB could be like very inefficient.
Oh, well, okay.
But that's fine. I mean, it's better than the whole fucking map, right? Which
Yeah.
is what we've got right now.
Yeah, even doing this, that's right, axis aligned. It's not a diagonal, it's a square.
Yes.
Okay. That's totally chill. All right. Let's see. So really
we do know how to do rotated collision now, right? I thought we did a whole thing. I don't remember what system we used it for, but we did do like rotated. We
did, didn't we?
We did.
What was that for?
I don't know. Didn't we we have a ton of math, right?
I do recall this, yeah, because we have an entire line. We did like line collisions. Huh? What uses source or util collision? Oh, it's for the ray casting for the turret.
Oh,
so that we can that we can shoot the line.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're using that, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to quad tree some of this first.
Yeah.
So this is going to be any manager dot query by world pause, and our search space.
It's basically whatever box is defined by the diagonal. Like if the ray that we cast is diagonal, that's our search space, I think.
Right. Yeah. Does it matter if we get the order of these wrong?
It does.
Probably not.
It does matter.
It does. Okay. So it has to be top left and bottom right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
It'll make your math here a little bit complicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like complicated not in a satisfying way, complicated in just like the straight up annoying way, right?
Right. Because I'm just like, I know what it should be, and I'm just annoyed by it. But anyway, const turret origin is transform dot origin. Nope. Position. And then const aim limit is, let's see. We're going to, is it the position plus the range rotated by the orientation?
Yeah.
Back to?
I think we have things that can rotate a vector based on the orientation. Can you go to like our math utilities?
I was gonna say, I bet some of it's in this collision one. Nope. Math.
It's really what we do to turn the renderables.
So we have rotate until, but vec2.rotate just exists.
Oh yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah, cool. So this is going to be vec2 dot. Let's see. How does this work?
Yeah, vec2 dot rotate. You got it.
Okay.
Of vec2 dot create. The vector that we're rotating.
That's what I was having trouble with. It's
why is there two here? What is A and B again? I think one of them is just 0, right? Can we go back to the math.ts?
Yep.
Just want to remember this. Yeah, I think we basically want to do all of line 29.
The origin. So the origin of the rotation is the turret position.
We might be able to just throw that in there. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know why we
And
didn't do that in math.ts. I'm not sure why we did the add.
I don't know. I see though. This is.
Oh, out and start are, well,
I think it's just because this is really clean, where it's like we're rotating by this amount, and then we translate it over to the place it should be. Right?
it's possible that the add is not necessary in that. I would need to think about that a little bit more.
I think I can do this though. Okay. B is turret origin.
Yeah.
The radians are transform dot orientation. And this is vec2. This is the add. It's basically like where do you want to put the add, right?
No, this is the ray that.
Right. So it's turret origin plus it's turret origin straight up the range of the turret.
Yeah, but I don't think we include the turret origin in that, right? Or do we?
The point to rotate. So the point, like if we're here in world pause and we're taking this point.
Oh, because it's rotating that point around
the origin. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So we have to have an add no matter what, right? Is basically what you're saying. We basically take the turret origin and then add a vertical ray on top of that, whose length is equal to the range of the line of sight or whatever we're doing.
I think that's it. Yeah.
And so this is going to be equivalent to what we did in the math.tx.
It's really similar, yeah. So interestingly, I'm just gonna.
This will work if the turret origin is to the northwest of the aim limit.
I was gonna sort it with a function that checked. Instead of trying to do like the which order do we insert it in, I was just gonna write a comparator.
Oh. Well, actually, I think what you need to do is you need to do like the minimum x of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can even sort it this way, right? Because if you're,
okay,
I think, right? Because if let's say the turret is in the northwest and it's aiming to the south. Sorry, the turret is in the northeast. It's aiming to the southwest.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need the AABB is going to be the x coordinate of the aim limit, but the y coordinate of the turret, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah. So your AABB is basically going to be like the northwest corner is the min of the turret origin's x coordinate and the aim limit's x coordinate. Oh. And then the y is the min the max of those. It's just min and then max. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. We can do that. This is gonna be turret origin 0 and turret origin 1 dot sort.
Oh, we can just do math.min, right? That might be easier than having to do sorts.
Well, I was gonna sort and then reapply them. I think it's fewer calls because you'd have to math. Well, let's see. I like what you're saying too. Just want 2 vec2s. Okay. Oh, and it's is it names? No. So this is going to be right. Vec2 dot from values math.min of turret origin 0 and
aim limit 0.
And then math dot. I'm just going to copy this and change zeros to 1.
Exactly. We are doing a couple needless ifs. I agree, but the sort also involves a loop. So the compares are there anyways, right?
Yep. I think you're totally right. I was just trying to be too clever.
No, I think that would have been a fine way to do it as well.
Okay, let's see how are these messed up. That is 1. two too many parentheses. One too many parentheses. Okay. Great.
And then this is the maxes. Yeah.
This is more understandable is what this is.
Okay.
Oh, and search space needs to be a 2vec2.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So we're going through our turrets. We're searching for a target on each one. And then we're going to say, oh, and that this is actually our, it's just that.
And then we also,
Jeff, the types, I'm so confident in this now. Yay.
yeah, it's great. And then we also want to make sure that the ID is targetable, so we can just add another or to this.
Ah, yes. And actual, yeah.
Entity manager
it's not itself,
targetable. Yeah.
If you spell it wrong once. As target ID.
And it's going to be a not in front of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nice. Great. That's at
nice.
least a tiny, yeah, it's a tinier loop. And then the shootables that it's going through are just much, much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Love it. Then we checkpoint. Very important. And then we shoot some bullets. Okay, so let's... Well, that ain't right. Oh, fuck. Hiding works, but nothing else does.
Yeah.
Wait, am I with the server? Jeff, it's running at just 60 frames per second.
Wow.
I'm very fucking confused, to be honest, but it works.
Yeah. So maybe that was just the source of a lot of slowdown there. It literally could have been, right?
Yeah, because you made a lot of improvements in the way we access stuff, and now it's just better. All right.
I don't know. It wasn't running this fast for me last night.
No, I know. No, I mean, like, you made a bunch of other improvements, but like this was a big slowdown, and now it's just gone.
Yeah.
And maybe we're all caught up. Oh, come on. I saved this file. There you go. Yeah, aside from shooting through walls now.
It's almost as if it's not finding. It's almost as if it's not finding the
walls?
The intermediate targets, right? Sorry, it's like it's not noticing the targetables in between you and the turret.
Yeah.
Because it's finding you really well, right?
Mm-hmm. It is very fast, though, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's shooting through walls. I assume it's shooting through turrets.
Like turrets are going to shoot at each other?
Yeah, let's say, let's just sneak back here and enjoy the... Yeah, now we're talking.
What are you,
Sucks
stupid?
For you. All right, faster, but still winnable. That's what I like to see.
Yeah. This is the fastest it's been for a long time.
The game is running fast. I'm shocked. I guess we should slow it down.
Yeah.
By fixing whatever's going on here. So let me log out. Let me just log out this search space real quick.
Okay.
It's going to log something for every turret, but I kind of just want to make sure it's like of the right shape.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. We should see a bunch of boxes that are about 300 in size.
It depends on their angle, right?
True. Right, so this is like a narrow, but yep, checks out. So, oh God, sorry, other tank. Oh, the other player gets fucked up now. Delightful. Okay, I gotta kill you. Wait, you're messing up my game. All right.
We could debug draw the search space.
We totally could. I think these look. Oh, actually, wait. Here is a conundrum. A lot of these are straight lines that are just 300. Did I get something wrong?
What about line 50? It should be negative range, 0 negative range, because we want the ray to project upwards.
Yeah, you're totally right. That could be part. That's part of it, but that would just make them search backwards and miss me, right?
Well, this good point. Yes.
Their aim wouldn't be so true. Yeah, I'm confused to see. This is what I thought I would see, and you gave me a very cogent explanation for why this is wrong. And it's
should
weird.
we reverse line? Yeah. Like, should it be turret origin? Turret origin is the center of the rotation, right? So line 50 is wrong.
B is the origin.
Yeah, so we need to reverse the order of those two things.
But this is B. This is.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right.
A
You're absolutely
B.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel good about this math. Wait,
I do too. Yeah.
I want to think about it again, but it's.
It necessarily is the minimum X and Y of those 2 points, and then the maximum X and Y of those 2 points. I have pretty good confidence on that.
I agree. Yeah. That seems extremely correct. And yet, for some reason, the X
there might be vec2.min. I think. Let me look this up.
Oh.
GL matrix. Vec2.
Like,
yeah, totally
vec2.min of what? Oh, that's great. Okay,
yeah, so we can just do vec2.min of turret origin.
I assume there is a corresponding vec2.max.
Yes. Let me just double check that this is what we want.
Well, we're about to see.
Yeah, it is, I think.
Nice.
They're shooting the wrong way now.
They are, aren't they? Are you backwards? No, you're aiming.
It's like it's 90 degrees off, right?
How the hell did that happen? Oh, I guess, okay, I take it back. A lot of our orientations are 0 because the turrets are aiming straight up. So let's do if orientation. Oops. Do. Like, I at least won't log the ones that are just off screen doing nothing. That should really only be.
It's a programming error. Oh, there we go.
Okay, those actually look like reasonably shaped things. This guy's kind of pointing up. Oh, we're ahead of the server again. Huh.
Hang on a second. Can you scroll
Yeah,
down? I actually need to review what this whole function does.
absolutely. For every target we find, we are going to we sort by distance from the origin and the new object.
When do we actually rotate the turret?
We rotate the turret here.
Uh, so this seems like a problem, right? Because we want to rotate the turret even if the player is behind the turret, right?
We want to rotate the turret. Yeah, well, this still runs every time. We rotate. Oh,
No, it doesn't run all the time. If we don't have a target. So basically, I think our AABB needs to be a
Twice?
giant box around the turret.
Okay, I accept that.
Okay.
Um, okay, sure. I mean, that's a lot easier than all this stuff, so why not?
Yeah,
So we're just
you
gonna
won't need to do any kind of orientation or anything like that. It would basically just be the origin.
We'll just do range in every direction, basically.
Yeah, that'll be actually more than enough. We could do range divided by square root of 2 on each axis if we wanted to like minimize the size of the box.
But won't that make it not see players in range?
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right, because like you need to see something that's like directly above you, right? And that's because there's no way we can do like a circular query in the way that the quad tree is currently implemented.
Oh, that would be really nice. But yeah. Ah, too bad. That actually sounds like it might be more math that would hurt the thing. Okay, so this is actually going to be vec2 dot subtract and vec2 dot add. Is sub just a shorthand for subtract? It totally is. Yeah. Great. And we're going to do turret origin and negative range.
Yes.
I'll do it from values though. Range. Okay, that is much more correct. Yeah. I'm with it. Oops, cancel.
All right, so good. They're rotating at you correctly now, but they're still shooting through stuff.
Even if I manage to get behind it, yeah, totally. That's great. I mean, I guess what we had before was turrets can only see forward, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
but a totally different thing.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
And we know how to do it. Okay, so.
Well, not only could they only see forward, but they could only see this weird like axis line box along their forward projection, which is a very strange.
Right.
Yeah. So why are it's almost as if we are iterating over targetables before, so this is still correct.
Were.
Yeah.
If it's not targetable, we skip it. This should really only be a tree. Set log skipping target ID is a wall. Entity manager. Oops.
You can get entity manager types as well. The type has the for everything that's interesting. There's a type enum. I'm not actually sure if we should keep that, but for right now, it's actually useful. Types.get.
Oh, well, that's cool. So wait, so this is types.get target ID.
Target ID, yeah.
And what do I get back? A list of types?
A number. It's an enum. Like we assign, like certain entities just set that value when you create them.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That thing. Cool. Cool.
Again, I don't think it's worth having that, but or at least we don't right now. Currently, it's not demonstrating its value, but
Skipping all the walls. Interesting. So that seems wrong.
it does seem very wrong. Is it obscured? Can you print the has obscured as well?
Totally. Obscured has target ID.
This should just be players, but it's worth printing.
Yeah, and for good measure, let's do targetables too. God, it's in logging hell. Okay, get out of there.
Yeah, I've switched to debugging in Chrome entirely, partly because you can run the debugger from VS Code.
Oh, you might have to help me get set up with that. Oh God, okay. There, all my keys were stuck.
Oh.
So the walls are, interestingly, still aiming at me, still shooting at something. Oh, is it seeing the wall as targetable and shooting at the wall? Is that what's happening? It's aiming at me.
Oh, yeah, but what is it that we added to prevent that from happening? Because we definitely, and again, this is where targetable is like the wrong word, because the turret is trying to shoot at you, but what did we use to? I guess we just need to scroll down in the implementation just a little bit just to see.
Yeah. Also, interestingly, some of these they're not walls. Logging the type out is like some player, but like mostly undefined.
Well, not everything has a type, so I'm not actually sure what we're coming up with there. Could be bullets.
Yeah. It could be. It shouldn't be
but bullets shouldn't be targetable, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what is undefined there?
That's a great question.
How are we even getting that?
So I'm gonna toss out for these entities. We only have 466 entities, so maybe yes, bullets. That's a pretty good guess. Is a bullet targetable? Oh, it's skipping. It's skipping bullets. That is correct.
That's fine.
Oh, and it's skipping when the player is in here. It's skipping player because it's obscured. Okay, sure.
But why was it skipping walls?
That's a good question. It wasn't. No, it wasn't skipping walls.
It wasn't ever skipping walls.
Yeah, so it's only skipping players and bullets that are in the field of view, which is correct.
Okay.
Target transform. We get the targets transform. We make our list of shootables. We sort them by distance.
Then we basically say that if the closest shootable
is
not on my team.
Yeah, are walls team neutral? Maybe we haven't.
Everything should be team neutral by default.
I didn't change anything. Yeah, all we've done is change the query. This already all worked.
Yeah.
What did I change? Shorter bullets. Just that obscuring change. Entity managers dot targetables. That's all it was. How interesting. Oh, wow. Can't start the game anymore. All right, that's cute. Well, and they just totally give up on walls around them.
That's so strange. Can you scroll down a little bit more?
Yeah.
It's almost as if they're not being included in the AABB. Are they not coming back from the AABB check?
The wall itself?
Yeah, are walls even in the
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, they should be, but found targets.
It might just be turrets.
It might just be. Oh, I guess we can look in the
Or it might not even be
spatial
turrets, yeah.
register.
It's really just queried by world pause. I think that's what we want.
I just want to make sure that we put the things in the spatial index that should go in the spatial index.
Oh, the wall's going in there.
Yeah, tree turret wall. Okay, but you know what always makes it in there? Players.
Okay.
No matter what's happening, you get these out. So maybe we have a bad query because it only sees the player and just starts aiming and firing at it, like regardless of what's in the way.
If the player is the closest.
I think I'm picking up your suggestion that in fact there's no walls coming back in here. Controls equals that. I bet if I start doing this, I will only see IDs 9, 11, which are our 2 players, and everything above 466. Man, is game dev memorizing the IDs that your entities have for like the map? Because fuck. Sure feels like it.
Yeah.
Yep. There's no walls in this list. There's occasionally bullets.
Why aren't there any walls?
That's a good question. Let's log this search space.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because basically you're saying this is just a bad query.
It's a bad query, and we always add the player to it because we just check everything against every player every time.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
But this I thought would be okay. Did I get the like? This is an orientation based. This should always be.
Yeah. It shouldn't be negative on line 50. Just get rid of the minus signs.
Oh, you know what? It's subtraction.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. Because that is a ABB of 0.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, let's see if it actually works now that it has to check entities. You're still logging some bullshit. Hang on. You're clearly not done building. Well, there's your problem. It wasn't looking at anything.
Yeah. And now it's super slow.
It's like so much slower than before.
It's worse than before, right?
Yeah. That's so funny. Fuck. Now it was pretty good when we were checking just the area in front of it, like the front arc. And I can kind of get why, because there's enough turrets on the map that you're checking a lot of things a lot of times.
Yeah. That also raises the other question of like, we probably could stand to not update turrets that are. I mean, this gets into really dangerous territory, but there could be a heuristic where we just like skip the turret update if it's far enough from what we consider to be the action, quote unquote.
Well, here's let me throw a heuristic out for you. We only update the turrets that are in a certain distance of the player.
That's what I basically meant. But because there are multiple players, we need to basically take into account all of the players. Yeah. Anything that the turret could shoot at, we need to basically account for its distance to either of like any of those things.
Mm-hmm. But I like the notion of sort of doing it backwards and being like, there is a player in range. This turret should go check.
The other thing that we could do is, well, it's the spatial query itself that is slow, right? So any spatial query is slow. It sounds like it's line 54 that's really slow.
I'm not convinced it's the spatial query that's slow so much as like we basically returned. I think this, which has to check a square this big for everything, is like not that far off checking the whole map again.
I see. But
Yeah.
was it that slow checking the whole map? Like when we were
Let's
going over every single targetable, was it really that slow?
let's see. I'm gonna add the hiding system. This was good. Hiding is fine.
Yeah,
It's faster.
almost everything except for the turret system at this point, right?
Oh yeah, it's true. Get diff source client. That's literally a comment. I'm just gonna check that out. Bullets is just a range, and what is in source simulate? Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna add source client and source components. Range. And so if we reload on this, this is our baseline. And if I stash this,
I think it might not run because the turret system also has other changes.
oh, but I included the change to simulate that is changing the input to it. It should be a reversion to, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
so this is faster. Oh, we're back to this, but let's put the checkpointing back in here real quick, which was just cmanager snapshot checkpoint.
Oh, that was the only fix.
That was the only bug fix we had, yeah, and probably the only performance hit that this took was checkpointing out to these. Okay, so yeah, something is much slower.
Well,
So
before
I guess
we were iterating over all targetables.
Oh, and we were doing
because
it.
we were okay. So the spatial query is including trees. That's the problem. It's including trees and bullets. Whereas before, neither of those two entity types were targetable.
It's true. We do filter that out, though.
I know. We filter it out, and then also we should be looking at many fewer walls, right? Although the range is pretty long now, right?
The range is pretty long, and we look at all. I can't quite reconcile how. Yeah, we're pulling back actually. Like this turret here right now checks every wall in the game, and having us reduce it to this, I'm surprised makes it slower, but it does.
One thing we haven't been great about doing is actually just straight up profiling stuff, like just adding timers and seeing which things are taking a long time. So that's one option that we could explore. Is just like finding a way to plug particular, almost on like on a frame by frame basis. We can do like running averages of things. It's like we get to this section of code, maybe wrap it in a lambda or something like that that does like very precise timing, and then total that up for however many spans of that you go over for one frame, and then do a running average of that frame over frame, something like that.
Oh, interesting. So are you thinking like for the turret system update or for like chunks of the turret system?
Either or. Yeah,
Okay.
basically we'd pass into the instrumentation system like an ID or like a string that we'd say like it's this thing.
Cool.
This is all just me vomiting ideas right now. Like I haven't thought too much about the API, but like I think it would be interesting to just basically say the profiling system is essentially like you pass it a key and a lambda, and it'll basically sample the time before you before you run the Lambda, sample the time after you run the Lambda, and then add whatever that differential is to whatever value you have at that key. And then you
Mm-hmm.
can either clear it at the end of the frame or add it to a running average, something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe instrument has a running average. Really, instrument takes some lambda, which is an any to any, and a constructor that sets that. I'm just gonna like, this is maybe pseudocode. We'll see. Lambda, it has a private running average. And in fact, the thing we're going to do is every time we run the function, we call it with via the instrument. Yeah, I like that. It's like run, which is lambda, and this dot running average equals a new running average. What is max samples? Is it like, is 61 second? That doesn't even matter. It's just
Well,
number
I
of
mean, it
iterations.
depends on what we're timing here, right?
This would actually be 60 frames if we're doing this on like a frame by frame thing, right?
Yeah. So are we going to average individual spans of code, or are we going to average the amount of time that a span of code is executed each frame? Do you see the distinction there?
Yeah.
So if we want the former, you're on the right track with this. If we want the latter, we actually want the instrumentation to add, you add the timing in the Lambda to some table somewhere. And then you do a running average of what's in that table based on some segmentation, which for us is the frame boundary. Right. So pros and cons, trade-offs are for, I think for the way that it's written currently, you don't want the running average. You just want an average, right? You just want to, regardless of how many there are, you just want to basically push samples onto the end of an array and then calculate the average of that, right? But if we do want to do a running average, then what we'd probably be doing is totaling stuff up over the course of the frame, and then like what your running average is basically the frame total for a span.
Cool. Okay.
And I think there are pros and cons to doing it either way.
Yeah.
What's nice about what you're writing right now, or the direction that you're going, is that it's independent of the number of times that we do it, and it's also independent of.
Well, right. We basically get like we get an average of how long this function takes for however many last times we ran it. But it's not.
Oh, I was assuming that we changed that to average.
Oh, we changed it to average.
But we can do
running.
We can do running average as well. That's fine.
I feel like average just could maybe get out of. Oh, really? We just need to have an accumulator and a total, and it's just division every time. Yeah. Okay.
We can do a running average of an average, right? We can average every single, like basically in the space of one frame, we can sample how long it takes us to get through a span, average that, and then do the running average of that frame over frame. Or we can total all of those things up, like however long the span we spent on that particular span across n number of turrets that we're looking at. We can total that up and do the running average of that total. The difference there is that the running average of the total is not independent of the number of turrets. So if you destroy a turret, or a turret doesn't simulate for whatever reason, then it would affect it would affect the numbers. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay. My brain is not wrapping around where this all goes right now.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
I do want to build a system. So I
We
think
have
yeah, I
10
think
minutes, so maybe we don't have to build it right now, right?
yeah, I was gonna say perhaps not exactly this moment, but I like what you're saying.
Okay.
And it'd be really nice to know like, yeah, did we slow this function down? So I am going to bring this back, which slows the function down. Which I know for sure. Damn, it built fast. Did you make it build faster too? Because if you did, that's great.
I wish I could say yes, but I don't think so. I really
Yeah.
didn't do anything explicit there.
No stress optimizations. Okay. Um I guess the thing we could do is turn this into turret IDs and actually do a spatial query on that on players first too. This is the last gasp of like, can we actually fix the performance before I just revert it and put the checkpoint change back in there? For oh. Do we not have players?
Um, I mean, player numbers is probably a reasonable thing that we could do.
I guess I can do friendly team too. Yeah, that's we're looking for who's shooting at the friendly team, so that's like good enough.
Yeah, and that'll
Space.
include the bullet. That'll include the builder as well whenever he comes around.
Oh, great, cool. Okay.
Yep.
Search space is going to look really similar. Oh man, I really like this. What did I get wrong? Has no index. Oh, you're sorry. There sets.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Huh?
Transform dot position is probably what you're looking for.
That's probably what I'm looking for. God, sorry. You can actually just watch my brain have shut down in the last 20 minutes.
It's cool.
Sorry, Jeff.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, great. And then this search space is if manager dot turrets dot has target ID, turret IDs dot push. Oh, well, target ID is silly. Okay, that's ID turret. Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
I just want const turret equals entity manager dot get or dot turrets dot get ID.
Exclamation point. Yep.
All right. Well, I wonder if that's any faster. Let's go to the board. Oh, you're still rebuilding. One more time. It's slower.
It's accelerating. I actually think it's faster.
Yeah, it caught up. Okay. Oh, hey, check it out. It's fine here. But then when it's got some work to do, oh no. All right. It's just at a smooth 60 now. I'm ahead of the server. I've crashed the game.
Oh, what?
But this is better. This is better than it was.
This is way better.
So the fuck. Okay, so when I'm closer to more turrets, the game slows down. When I'm further from more turrets, the game is faster. Fascinating.
Yeah, okay. I mean that makes sense because each turret's doing a lot of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're basically turning off turrets, right? A lot of these turrets that are far away are not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It's it's an improvement. Right, because right now, like, these turrets are like double included essentially. Wait, do I need to unique on this?
We do. Yes, that's actually a great
Or
observation.
new set of entity ID.
Or even a new sorted set, because we probably want to process them in sequential order.
Yeah, you're right. Great. So that's even fewer turrets. Build. Build. Great. Yep, much nicer over here. And then probably the same over. Oh, I'm ahead of the server. That's why it looks so good. Fine over here. Choppy over here.
And that's because the turrets are still calculating. They're still like comparing what they can shoot against like everything that could possibly be shot in the game right now, right?
No, they're doing the search space actually. They're doing their own search space.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
tricky.
Yeah, I feel like it at least we've made it a little better.
I think it is better. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna toss in a. I want to know how many. I'm curious about the running total of turrets. Turrets in range. Turret IDs dot size. And I'm not even gonna open it up on the console on the browser. I'll just see what it does on the server. Attempt not to slow down the browser too much. Oh, so close. Yeah. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. The fourth one really fucks it up. I guess these are doing just a ton of work, is maybe what it is.
Each
but
turret,
these,
yeah.
But these are doing like less. I'm shocked that turret number 4 is what fucks it up.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that we're doing this 15 times in a row, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
But I do love seeing almost 60 frames per second just hanging out there.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. God, so much optimization. Delightful. Okay. I'll put that in Git.
All right. I good enough for me.
Good. Oh god, I accidentally killed the server. Now it's just great. Everything's
great. Yeah. No reconciliation.
I was checking out I was thinking about the Overwatch video and the notion of actually like delaying player input a little bit too, and finding like the sweet spot on that. I wonder, like, I feel like
on the client, you mean?
Yeah, it's like I think they delay it by a tenth of a second or something. And I think it's just to like try to reduce the delta of.
Yeah, I know Valorant does that, right? Like Valorant talked about a buffer on the client side and on the server side, right? Oh, actually, I think Valorant might have even buffered server frames. I don't know why that seemed like that would increase drift, but like when the client receives server frames, like it was like buffering them. I would imagine that you'd want to process the server frames as soon as possible when the client receives them, but.
Yeah, I guess it's like, I think it's giving the client, like if I click the mouse, I see it 6 frames later. So like the delta between the client and the server has shortened. You process server frames immediately, but the client is actually like kind of just like delaying its own simulation a little bit.
Oh.
Which like is like you're finding the sweet spot of like where does input not feel laggy, but also like we've cut down on our delta from the world.
Yeah. I think there's a piece I'm totally missing. Not just about what you're saying, but about the entire multiplayer puzzle, because it feels like.
Actually,
well, anyways,
I wonder.
I left a link in Slack it was in this like huge long series of things that I posted in Slack. But there's like a series on multiplayer that basically covers everything that we talked about. It has a nice JavaScript demo of two clients and a server, and
Oh,
how
nice.
each of prediction, reconciliation, and lag compensation like work, and you can like turn them each on or off. Um,
Wait, was I at the polls? Did I totally miss this?
I think you were. This is when you were on a long weekend or something like that. So don't worry about it.
Ah,
It was probably in the middle
okay.
of me like posting 5 million things. So as I do.
That's delightful though.
Yeah, maybe the homework for the weekend is to give that a read, and then my homework will also be to read that. But then also I'm gonna maybe reach out to a friend. I have one in mind that maybe we could bring on stream and we can talk about multiplayer.
That'd be
Because we've
great.
been banging our head against this for quite a while, and I think
Yeah. And we've gotten better at it, but also there's a lot here.
it feels asymptotic at this point, right? And the answer may be JavaScript actually, because like we are doing a fuckload of GC that's not necessary, and we're like creating objects on the heap. That's and like our like there's no cache coherence whatsoever. Um, so the answer just might be that, or it could be that our whole mental model needs a little bit of tweaking. So I'll see
Okay.
if I can find someone to come on the stream and talk to us about it,
That
or
that'd
not
be
off
really
stream
cool.
if they're not comfortable with that.
Yeah. So oh, this is very interesting. I guess I'm experimenting with giving, I put all my things 5 frames ahead,
Uh huh.
and it's not terrible actually.
Send client message frame plus 5.
Yeah, well, essentially, I am telling when you click the mouse, I'm saying we're going to simulate this on our side in 5 frames, and the server is going to simulate it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, yeah. So can you
Actually,
add like 50 and see if you can feel the lag,
I should definitely be able to feel it at 50.
or even at 25 or 20 or something like that
I can feel it ever so slightly
with 5.
at 5. Yeah, but basically, like every one of those that we drop down is like we've reduced the number of player inputs we've simulated in our loop.
Got it. Yeah, but the hope though is that the server will process it, or like at a similar time to when the client does, right? Or a closer time, right?
Yeah, or it's just less for us to do. This is not better because I think frames ahead of server is still doing the same work. That's interesting.
Oh,
I can definitely feel it
yeah.
now.
Okay, yeah. Of course. That's a super interesting experiment. You're essentially just like,
Yeah,
let me actually buy a little bit of time to send the shit over the network. That's basically what this buffer is about, right?
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, and I wonder if that's something to experiment with. That was my takeaway from that notion in Overwatch, where it's just like actually like make the client perform closer to the server too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, hello 9 o'clock. We did it.
We made it. And now we're back in the cold hard reality of
So let's see if
lawless.
my real goal happens. Did we actually? Is it over? It's not over.
Yeah, I looked before stream, and I think all the vote counts of the places that mattered had stopped.
Okay.
Apparently, Arizona is in play for Trump now. That was the
Not a huge surprise.
that was the stressful development of the day.
I think I
But
missed that, but having just told me that, I'm not super surprised.
on the flip side, applying the same logic, if you think Arizona is going to flip because of logic X, applying logic X to every other state means that Biden will win the rest of those, right? So
I got Georgia on my mind.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the likely outcome, maybe I'm being premature here, is that we'll have a deadlock Congress and a non-fascist, non-idiotic president for sure, but one that will
He's
also do
like
very little.
a little fascist. He's still a Democrat.
Okay,
He's
that's
like
true.
a little
Okay,
fascist.
a little
Yeah.
fascist. But he won't do anything. Um, he'd probably do better on the pandemic, which feels like a pretty important thing at this point.
Yeah, and like the climate, he believes it exists and maybe should be taken care of, which man, my bar has just been put on the ground for all this shit.
But part of me is just like, oh, we're just deferring the inevitable by 4 years. Because they'll find a smarter fascist, I think.
Man, they picked the dumbest one.
They
It's
picked the
amazing.
absolute dumbest one. There's a possibility that we will look nostalgically back at Trump the way that we like look nostalgically back at George W.
George
Bush.
W.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who was the Antichrist at the time? I don't know if you recall, but like,
I mean, I do, but only because of Katrina.
well, he also killed
Dude
a
fucked
million
up bad.
Iraqis, something like that, with
Yeah,
his
he did.
bare hands. You know?
Yep. That dude was sure not good.
No, but
Neither
we
was his
yearn.
dad.
I would yearn for a Bush presidency right now,
Right? It was so manageable and peaceful.
or at least I just wasn't
I
paying attention. I don't know. It's pre-social media too. Social. I don't know. Maybe it was just like we live in a
That's true.
technological nightmare right now.
I really enjoyed the videos of someone made a side by side video of Trump supporters in two different states, one group chanting stop the vote
Oh yeah.
and one group chanting count the vote.
There was a tweet that I read earlier today. It may entirely be apocryphal, but because it was like hearsay. It was like a tweet about someone's hearsay. So like that's about as reliable as this was. But like apparently the story was that like in a briefing this morning, I think Trump was like in a meeting going like, okay, well, so what can we do to like stop the vote or stop the count? And someone had to stop him and say like, hey, you do realize that if we stop the count right now, you would lose, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I think basically, I actually literally think he is that dumb. But
Yeah.
weirdly, it's working for him because what he's actually doing is just getting people riled up, right? And that ultimately has the effect of
I
strengthening
mean,
him, right?
it's so weird because like he's always been very clearly that stupid.
Yeah.
But like no one seems to be concerned about that, or like people like can't. What I find most concerning about everything is that like so many people are just like, no, that's fine. Like that guy looks really smart. I'm like, what do you mean he looks really smart?
Well, I think it's a bit of think of films, right? Like Idiocracy is a little bit like this, but I think of like Forrest Gump, where he would just say the most simple-minded thing, and it'd be like, it's just the movie, the plot makes it super profound.
Oh my god, did you ever see Being There? Jeff, you would actually love this movie. It's Peter Sellers basically doing
Yeah,
exactly
totally.
that.
Oh, okay, yes. Well, I also think of
Someone did it for me.
do you remember the 40-year-old virgin?
I never saw that.
Okay. Well, there's a scene where like they're teaching Steve Carell how to like hit on women, right? And they were just like, okay, just like ask questions. And so like he's hitting on, I think it's Elizabeth Banks plays the person that he's hitting on, and she asks him a question and he just asks the same question right back. And it ends up working for him, right? He ends up exactly this sort of like idiot saying the idiotic thing, and yet it's like somehow ending up in his favor. That's the reality that we live in right now.
Yeah, like, that's really dumb.
All right, so I need to watch a Peter Sellers movie. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Doctor Strangelove, so I think.
Oh, dude, I highly recommend it, and it's like it's exactly that where like he's the dumbest. He's simple, and he loves watching TV, and everything he says is like a TV trope. But he gets into DC political circles, and everyone's like, "Whoa, can't believe you, dude."
Yeah. This is like the white guy failing up kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
guess I don't need to watch the movie. I live it every day. Come on, man.
Oof. Yeah, you work in tech. Ouch. All right. Well,
let's go smoke some weed and play video games. Question mark? Are you still playing Hades?
I'm gonna play some Hades. Yeah, I've only got like 13 or 14 clears notched, so I haven't finished the epilogue. I got a bunch left to do.
You did get the credits already, though.
I got the credits. I think you get that at 10. I think that's just 10 clears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to like romance Thanatos and Megara at the same time because that seems to be where they're taking me.
Yeah. Do it, man. Were you given the final quest?
Maybe not.
It's in the Book of Prophecies where you have to accomplish Persephone's crazy plan.
Oh, no, I don't think I have that yet.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I cleared that
Okay.
over the weekend.
Nice.
And so I think I'm kind of done. I'm at
Does it
like
feel done? Okay, great.
I'm at like 55 or 60 hours, 30 plus clears. I think I'm
Nice.
ready. Yeah.
Dude, that's a good
It's
game.
a good game. The gun is the best weapon, I think.
The gun is pretty darn
The
good,
gun is
yeah.
good.
I'm a big spear
I
fan. Though
love the spear as well. Yeah.
I just did the aspect of Rama Run and it was weird.
The with the bow.
No, the oh sorry, it was Rama the bow. What's the spear special aspect?
The
I did
aspect of
Rama too.
Guan Yu.
Guan Yu. Guan Yu is weird.
It seems too difficult to use. Like people are really into it, but like it seems really hard.
I mean, you've got that nice healing spell. I guess that's it.
Is the special good? The firecracker?
A special. Wait, what?
He,
Oh no, it's a spear that doesn't. You don't have to wait for it to return. That's all. It's fine.
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a firecracker that he's throwing. Like
Oh,
yeah,
oh yeah, that makes sense. It's fine.
but it's like super slow, right?
It's really slow. Is that what it is?
And it also takes
I,
away half your health.
yeah, but your spin attack is a healing wave, and
Right.
I guess that's the shtick. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
It's weird. I liked the aspect of Rama much better.
Which is so that's the one for the bow. And what does it do?
Um, I think it's when you hit someone with your special, they start taking damage from. If I hit an enemy with my special and then start attacking another enemy, they both get
Oh yes,
damaged.
that's super weird.
It was really sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like just like everything starts like damaging each other, and you get a really nice cascade.
Did you ever do aspect of Hera? The one that where you like when you cast, it actually just like loads the cast into your bow. I've never done
That's
that
fun.
actually. I suppose that would be really good with like Trippy, the what's his name?
We shot
The
or just
Dionysus.
or Artemis's cast where you're just shooting more arrows that do like super crit damage.
Oh right. Because Artemis's cast is like a, it's
It's
basically
like
just like a
already an
homing
arrow,
arrow,
yeah.
right? But does it then? I'm struggling to think of because maybe I should just try it because I'm trying to figure out like what exactly it would do. And the only one that I could see would be really good would be like the trippy shot from Dionysus because it'd just be like area of effect, but it'd be fast and you can just like target where it can go.
Yeah. Right, and it always lands on the enemy you're aiming at. Yeah, that's interesting.
It'd be really bad for the Demeter one, right? Because it would just like lay the the little crystal that shoots a laser.
Oh, I hate that thing.
That would it's kind of pointless.
It's really bad. Like maybe is there a boon that makes it fast and not suck? Because otherwise it's really miserable.
Yeah.
Such a good game. Well,
Very good.
you're on to greener pastures now. You've escaped. Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna play next.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it's there. I don't know why I've been avoiding it. For some reason, I just haven't like tackled it. But it's like,
You have to start a whole Assassin's Creed size game.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a lot
yeah.
of work.
But like if you gave me like an AC, like if AC Valhalla was out, for some reason would I be more into that? I shouldn't be,
Isn't that
right?
out like now?
It's out soon.
Like really soon, right?
Yeah,
Okay, couple weeks.
yeah. I think it's getting
Wait,
released on launch day.
Tuesday. Nice.
Are you getting a PS5?
I would if I could.
Did you not pre-order it?
Nobody. I mean, like pre-orders were impossible.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
tried.
right. That's right. It was
I
like
like
trying to order Radiohead tickets or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I refreshed the page a couple times. I'm going to be very sad and use Walmart on the day it comes out because they put some release windows out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Should
I'm
write a
taking the
bot.
Walmart money. Someone will, and they'll get my PS5 instead. Is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that if I order one through like Best Buy or something, eventually they will send me one much later, and that's fine.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself that probably getting if the kind of like backwards compatibility is any good,
Mhm.
probably getting a PS5 sooner rather than later is a good play because I'm gonna get one
Anyway,
eventually, and
and it just
it
makes
does
all your
it
PS4
does do
games
4K,
better.
right? And yeah, and I could run it. I could run Ghost of Tsushima at 4K, right?
Well, yeah, and I think they said they have a PS5 patch out. Everything needs a patch, but oh yeah, you're getting 60 FPS for sure. That's
Yeah, at
great.
4K would be incredible because I don't have a
Mhm.
PS Pro. Yeah,
Yeah, you want that. That sounds great.
cool. All right. Well,
Fun.
I will see you Monday.
Hell yeah.
And we'll continue plugging away, and we'll try to find out how we can level up our respective multiplayer games.
I'm super excited. I want to read that thing that you sent that I totally missed. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I will
I'm looking forward to that.
resend it. No. It was within a torrent of things, so don't worry about it.
Please do.
Okay,
Sweet. Bye, Twitch.
see you, everybody.